everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope everyone's having a happy Friday so far. So our multi-tiered system of support leadership team is meeting today to review our universal screening data. We will discuss our observations about core trends and then make supplemental and intensive recommendations for our PLCs. Then they can begin planning intervention logistics using the standard treatment protocol. So team, how about we begin by looking at our MAP data and start looking at some trends. Let's start with first grade and let's see what the data is telling us.
Okay, well, I went ahead and completed a gap analysis. So it looks like we have 47 out of 117 kids who are not meeting grade level expectations.
I'm just curious, what do you mean not meeting grade level expectations?
Great question. I mean, there are 47 kids, or 35% of our first graders, who are not performing above the 25th percentile on MAP, our universal screener. And since a healthy core generally looks like 80% are meeting criteria, the data seems to tell us that we have a core issue that we need to address.
That's correct. We do have a core issue in literacy. We've taken steps to address this in our school improvement plan and will continue to document our strategies in our 90-day plans.
Didn't we document Tier 1 plans and EG plan last year?
Yes, and thank goodness that is gone. But now we'll document in our 90-day plans. Since MTSS is a total school improvement framework, we want to be sure that all of our efforts are interwoven and aligned from our leadership. Everyone here is a huge driver in that work.
Well, I see that many students are not meeting expectations, are ELL learners, and we also need to be sure to include the ELL strategies in our efforts to strengthen the core. Some important strategies would be scaffold support in academic conversations and in writing.
Yeah, those strategies that you coach teachers on during PLCs are awesome and definitely support all learners. We're also going to make sure that all K-1 teachers attend reading research to classroom practice, right?
Right.
Okay. So I will also be training and modeling phonemic awareness lessons to be used daily in core to build teachers' capacity in that area, and that was kind of connected to our school improvement plan, our 90-day plan. And that's really something that our data has shown in the past that we have a need for.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
I did notice that our lowest performers didn't always spend as much time as our high-achieving students on the test. What do you know about the fidelity of the testing environment? Specifically, did we ensure the testing environment was quiet, that the timing of the day was good for students, and that all equipment was working properly?
Yeah, we did. The AP provided MAP testing training during the work days, and I popped into a few testing sessions, and I didn't see any problems, so I don't think that the testing session was a problem.
Okay. How do these students compare to the students not meeting expectations in M class?
Very similar, actually. There are 36% of students who are at the intensive level as measured by their DIBELS composite score. I know you were going to ask about testing conditions, so I'll just say that I gave a refresher to returning teachers and a longer training session to all new staff so that they could implement the assessment as close to as they're supposed to.
So we know we have some core concerns and are taking steps to address those. What should we do about our lowest performers who might need more support than just strategies that we're using in strengthening core?
Great question. Most students not meeting expectations will need a supplemental group plan. There may be some students who need an intensive plan if they are significantly below grade level.
So I found this data decision rule chart. What guidance does the district MTSS team or DPI tell us about how to group students?
DPI has specific areas of need within literacy, and we should group kids in these specific areas. Once they are grouped, then we will look at the standard treatment protocol and pick a corresponding intervention to meet the needs of the groups of students.
So when we put kids in a group intervention, that is Tier 2 intervention?
Yes, it is. We are trying to be more efficient with our time, and we now grouping kids according to their common needs, which is called standard treatment protocol approach. That is different from the past when we had individual problem-solving approach and basically gave kids individual plans.
That is so awesome. That makes so much more sense.
Yes, I think our teachers will really like these group plans, and we can use this flow chart that Jade shared with us to kind of guide our intervention decision rules. That'll be very helpful. So, speaking of which, let's go ahead and get back to our universal screening conversation. We know we're taking steps to address our core. We also know that some students will need more support through a supplemental plan. So let's look at our lowest performers in MAP and compare them with our students, our lowest students in the DIBELS composite to find some common specific areas of need. And figure out what we notice about the students in each of those areas.
Well, I can see there are a lot of the same kids in the lowest 10% that are both in MAP and intense in the DIBELS composite. So why don't we start with the kids in the bottom 10%, since we're already working on some of the same areas in our core. Let's start with the lowest 10% in MAP and then see what their specific areas of need are in DIBELS.
What do you mean by the specific areas of need?
So the specific area of need is given to us from DPI, and for first grade we're talking about phonemic awareness and phonics. There is a category for writing as well, but now we probably just need to start with phonemic awareness and phonics.
Right. So let's start with the MAP list and group kids by phonemic awareness and phonics. Then, since I work with first grade, I'll work with them during their MTSS planning time to work out the logistics of how we're going to implement this standard treatment protocol and deliver the intervention during their intervention block time.
Okay. I know I've worked a lot with Miss Smith, and she is awesome at phonemic awareness lessons. She might be a good person to deliver the phonemic awareness intervention for those kids across the grade level. I could also work with a group during the intervention block, as these skills I regularly work with my EL students.
I like this thinking, Chris. And you're right, Ms. Smith does do a great job, so she's a good person to use for that. So let's start grouping the students and see how things shake out.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.